About a week ago, I posted a video talking about NBA 2K25 being at a crossroad, and one of the things we talked about was how the community was divided not just in two, but in a million different ways when it came to shooting and whether it needed to be patched. Well, we have some insane information when it comes to shooting, and this is going to surprise a lot of you. This is coming from NBA 2K Lab. Let's check this out. And we got, of course, we have the community's reaction to this. So check this out, man. Shout out to 2K Labs for all the tests that they do. They do a bunch of free tests when it comes to shooting, badges, animations. They have it on YouTube. They have it on their website. They put it everywhere for free. And then, of course, if you want that premium jump shot data, it does cost a little bit of money, but if you use code Joe, you get a big discount. Now, let's get into the video, man.
What is good, everybody, and welcome to the NBA 2K Lab channel. In this video, we'll be going over the boost to receive when using Pro Stick rhythm shooting for your jump shots. We'll be comparing this mechanic to using the button in the same testing scenario so you can get a better idea of how big this boost actually is. And spoiler alert, the green window is almost 70% bigger than using the button. But stick
70% bigger green window when using rhythm shooting compared to button shooting. This has people in a frenzy. Let's get through this 3-minute video though, and then we'll get into the reaction.
Stick around for this short video to find out why and how. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get right into it. We already put out a short video on how rhythm shooting actually works, and if you want to see that video, we'll leave a link in the description down below. But first off, let's talk about the basics. The new rhythm shooting mechanic is all about syncing two key elements, the push timing and the tempo. After you hold the stick down to start your shot, the push timing is the exact moment you start the motion forward or wherever you push your stick in the opposite direction, while the tempo represents how fast you move the stick and finish the shot. Depending on your jump shot, the game has a window of how long you can push in a direction on the right stick. Too quick and it won't register as a shot. Too fast and it will shoot a normal jump shot just with the Pro Stick timing. The success of your tempo, on the other hand, varies significantly based on how well you time your push for that specific jump shot. If you get your push timing right, you'll have a wider margin of error with your tempo, but if your push milliseconds is off, your shot accuracy will drop dramatically.
So they're talking about that first initial bring back. If you time that correctly, you have a much bigger margin for error going the other way for the tempo, right? The pushing forward. Or pro tip for some of y'all, if y'all didn't know this, when you pull back, you don't have to go straight forward. You can pull back and then push to the side. You can kind of rotate it and use the bumper on your controller to try to control the tempo of pushing it forward, if y'all didn't know that. So now we know how it works. Let's get into this data now.
Let's first look at the green window when using the button to put things in perspective. As you can see, this particular green window is about 69 milliseconds wide, which is pretty big
button
with all
shooting
things considered. It achieves a make percentage of around 75% with perfect timing.
Did y'all just hear that? Let me rewind it back for you.
Button to put things in perspective. As you can see, this particular green window is about 69 milliseconds wide, which is pretty big with all things considered. It achieves a make percentage of around 75% with perfect timing, and even the middle edges see a make percentage of about 60% as well.
So even timing a shot perfectly, they only got a make percentage of 75%. This is with button shooting. Now remember, and I checked with them to make sure, when they did this test, this was with no badges. So no badges equipped. 3-ball was in the mid 80s, I believe. No badges equipped. You're only hitting 75% of your shots if you time it to absolute perfection. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. I'm assuming badges would bump that up even higher, but perfectly timing your shot, you only make 75%? I don't know.
Well, and everything looks pretty good with this jump shot. Now, compared to rhythm shooting, the button green window looks fairly minuscule. The green window for the button was 69 milliseconds.
Now this is rhythm shooting.
Rhythm shooting with perfect timing, you now have a green window of about 115 milliseconds. And not only is your green window about 70% larger, the center make percentages are up closer to 80%.
So I know this is a lot of data, but if you really look at and then they're going to show the comparison too, of course. But this is rhythm shooting after the perfect push time, meaning that initial bring back, if you time that perfectly, then obviously the next one is the tempo, right? So if you green the pullback, you have a 70% bigger green window when using rhythm shooting. You can see by the chart here how many more millisecond margin for error you have.
When it's all said and done, putting these two windows on one chart,
here's the comparison.
See why rhythm shooting is far superior to button shooting.
So the red is obviously the button, the blue is the rhythm. Look at how much margin for error you have on the blue compared to the button shooting in red. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Does rhythm shooting deserve that big of an advantage over button shooting? because I understand both sides. The first side of it would be, yeah, Rhythm deserves a boost because you have to time 2 different timings and you're shooting with the stick. It's a brand new feature. They got to incentivize people to use it. But then on the flip side of it, people are saying, I'm a casual. I work all day. I go to school all day. I come home. I want to play the game for an hour or two. And I'm playing at a 70% disadvantage because I want to shoot with the button, because that's how I've played 2K ever since I've played 2K since, you know, however many years you've been playing the game. I understand both sides of it. Y'all let me know in the comments, do you think rhythm shooting deserves that big of an advantage? Should it be more balanced, or is it well deserved because they have to time 2 different timings?
The rhythm shooting mechanic in NBA 2K25 rewards players who can master the push timing and tempo relationship.
It sure does reward them.
Master your push timing first and then find a comfortable tempo to see what feels most natural for your playstyle. There's multiple ways to use rhythm shooting and you just have to find what's comfortable for you. There's a reason why a lot of people are using this right now, and if you're struggling to shoot, it may be time to give it a try. Now that is all we have for the rhythm shooting.
Now the advantage that it gives you now, it definitely is time to give it a try, but we're talking as a community. We're about to go look at Twitter and see some responses. Does rhythm shooting actually deserve that big of a boost, or is that too much? Is that not fair, as we might say? All right, so over here on 2K Labs tweet, right? This is where they posted the chart and they talked about, you know, the relationship here, and people are down here heated. This game is dog shit. There ain't no way I can dribble, look for my teammates open, and worry about a lock plucking me while also trying to time a rhythm shot. Like, what is the point of doing this? Now, Spillboy works for 2K Labs, and he said, what if I told you the rhythm shooting green window was 70% bigger compared to using the button? Hashtag NBA 2K25. Chalk said, my issue with this is it severely punishes guards. Slower jump shots, it is so easy to use rhythm shooting. On fast jump shots, it's nearly impossible. Really hurts guards in competitive play. Spillboy responded and said, I agree with this, but maybe not severely. Button shooting is still solid, and the 70% increase is only if you have perfect push timing. So basically, Chalk is saying it's much easier for a spot-up player or a pop or a center who's just spotting up or shooting catch and shoots off pops to use the stick shooting. And it's also obviously the bigger players have slower jump shots compared to, you know, a small guard who's dribbling and then having to quick stop and shoot off the quick stop. And with the faster jump shot, he's saying it puts guards at a disadvantage when it comes to competitive play. But then you also have the flip side, right? Y'all are just sad there is a skill gap now, LOL. Every game has a hard mechanic to learn in order to be the best. So that's what I'm saying. There's 2 sides to this, and honestly, I understand both sides. Like, I understand the people who just want to be able to shoot with the button because that's what they've always done. I understand the competitive players saying they feel like it's a bit of a disadvantage for the guards. I also understand what this guy's saying. Like, yeah, it's different. It's a challenge. The people who spend the time to master it, they're going to have an advantage. I think the question is, how big of an advantage should it be? Is 70% too big? Or is that enough? Like, is that fair? And that's how it should be. It's a fair question, and I don't think anyone has the, you know, I don't think any one person has the answer. Now, whatever side of the argument you fall on here, I think this is very, very important data for us to understand how the game works and why we're missing or why we're not shooting the percentage we want to shoot. More and more of this data is going to come out over the next few weeks as 2K Labs and these other testers continue to test the game. But shout out to 2K Labs for these tests, man, and providing all this information for free. And again, if you're looking for the best jump shot bases statistically tested in the game, 2K Labs has them. The link will be in the description. If you guys want to sign up, use code Joe to get 20% off. I think it's like if you use the code, it's like $5 a month to get access to all the jump shot data and all the other premium information they have on their website. So I definitely recommend you go check it out. But if y'all want to see some competitive gameplay on NBA 2K25, click that video on the screen right there. People are using rhythm shooting in competitive gameplay, and it's pretty interesting, the results. Go check it out.